you crave exciting sports takes and news? Fed up with the same old boring voices you hear on the radio? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you just might be a TBloomaholic. Lucky for you, it's time for another episode of the TBloom Talk Show, the #1 sports podcast in the world. Settle in, my TBloomanites, because another episode starts right now. Live from TBloom headquarters, here's your host, TBloom.
All right, all the levels good. Nation, what's going on, TBloom Nation? Welcome back to another episode, the last episode before Christmas. You know what's going down, TBloom Talk Show. You know what the slate of the agenda is today, Week 16, every game, every prediction from yours truly, TBloom, except for 4 games. We will have Sir CharlesTheEighth back on the show. He's going to give his predictions, his analysis for 4 different games. Can't wait to have him on. Second time being on. Maybe he's going to have a third time. Who knows? Fact remains, we got a great episode coming for you right now. Let's go ahead and start it off. Excuse me. It's a Christmas burp. I mean, what do you want me to say? It's a Christmas miracle. Absolutely freezing out. I don't know where you guys are in the United States or where you are in the whole nation or the whole world. Absolutely freezing out. It's freezing rain. I've never seen anything like it. My car's having troubles even driving. Black ice everywhere. Doesn't matter. We're going to have the fucking talk show happen anyway. We're going to start it off. Seattle Seahawks versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now let's just think about this one for a second. It opens up as a 10-point spread in the Chiefs' favor. I think that might be a little much. And not because I don't think the Chiefs are, definitely the better team. I just think that the Seattle Seahawks, they've been playing a lot better than... giving them 10 points against the Chiefs, this is a team who can score, or who has scored with the likes of the best in the league. And yes, obviously this can be a real test. Seahawks have not been playing as well as they have been in the beginning of the season. But still, 10 points, it seems like a lot to me. We're going to definitely roll with the Chiefs here. Nothing much to talk about in that regard, but I think this 10-point spread, if you're a betting man, this might be the time to take a spread for the Seattle Seahawks against the Chiefs because, 10 points seems like a lot. And, I know the Chiefs need the dub, but 10 points just seems a lot. So that's my take for this game. That's just is what it is. Moving on to the next game, we got the Vegas Raiders versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. You already know what's going down here. Both these teams, technically, they're still in the playoff push. How likely are their chances? Not very of making the playoffs, but hey, you got to play ball until you're officially mathematically out. So I think both these teams are going to lay it all on the line. It's in Pittsburgh. Recently, the Steelers, at the last time they played the Raiders, they've struggled. And for whatever reason, you guys think back to the 70s, these two teams were huge rivals. This was just as big of a rivalry as the Ravens and Steelers, or say the Steelers and Bengals or whatever. So this is a historical game right here. Pittsburgh is the favorite. Questionable on that, considering we have the younger team, and you could say what you want about the Vegas Raiders. They definitely underperformed this year, but they still got a veteran coach at the helm. I guess we do too. So they got Josh McDaniels, who absolutely is not as good as he thinks he is in terms of head coaching. So just scratch that out. Don't worry about the head coaching. But they got a veteran quarterback, a veteran receiver. They got a running back who's #1 in the league in rushing, Josh Jacobs. Shout out to him. Really surprised that the Steelers are the favorites in this one. I'm going to have to go Pittsburgh. How could I not, guys? I'm going to keep the same fucking energy as I have the whole season, and I won't stop. Pittsburgh's going to roll with this one. It's a 2.5-point spread. This might be the time to subtract. I might take the Steelers on the spread this one because, I think we'll win. If we do win, I think it'll be by at least a field goal. I can see this ending in a game-winning field goal. Not going to be an easy one. I think it's going to be a tight game. No more than 5 points between the two teams at the end, but supposedly it's going to be a low-scoring game. Over-under sitting at 38.5. We'll see what happens there, but we're going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's so ironic that this was going to be the game where Franco Harris would come in, get his jersey retired against the Raiders, who he had the immaculate reception against. That all got, thrown in the wash. Obvious reasons. Franco Harris, R.I.P. He died 2 days ago. So I think that this game's going to mean a lot more in a sense than two teams fighting for a playoff spot. I think there's a lot of historical value here, and yeah, I could see these two teams having a little bit of a extra oomph and reason to win this game. Nonetheless, I'm picking the Pittsburgh Steelers to roll with this one. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Arizona Cardinals. Man, who's going to be watching this game? I mean, unless you're a Bucs fan, or even if you're a Cardinal fan, are you watching this game? I'm not. I mean, personally, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they got a 7.5-point spread, favorites. Go ahead and give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on this one. I mean, yeah, and they needed an easy dub, too, because they have not been playing very well in the last few weeks against some decent teams. First, it was the Niners who ran through them. Then it was the Bengals last week after they blew a 17-3 lead going into half. I mean, it's just been a struggle bus for the Bucs. But they have enough firepower to beat the Cardinals. Cardinals are in shambles right now. They're fighting for a top 5 projected NFL draft pick at this point, you have to think. So we're going to roll with the Bucs on this one. Keep in mind, it's going to be a little bit of a smaller segment for me, but like I said, Sir CharlesTheEighth will be coming on, and he'll be giving his thoughts, opinions. We'll talk about a ton of different stuff here in about, I don't know, whenever I get through all these games, he'll come on, and that's going to be the real meat of this podcast. But we'll continue on. Los Angeles Chargers versus the Indianapolis Colts. This is an interesting one. I just received word from Sir CharlesTheEighth that Indy, or not from Sir CharlesTheEighth, from my good analyst over here at the headquarters, J.C. Edwards, that Matt Ryan isn't going to be starting. They're going to roll with the veteran, the Super Bowl champion, Nick Foles at quarterback. So it makes sense, right? You can't give up a 33-point lead and lose and not make a change at quarterback, especially Matt Ryan. The guy's had 2 chances, right? I mean, he's had 2 chances. So it's like, no surprise there. Will Nick Foles be able to manage and handle that offense better? Who knows? He's almost the exact same quarterback as Matt Ryan in the sense of he's a pocket passer, not very fast. He's probably a little bit more athletic than Matt Ryan, but now he's in the later stages of his career. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be much difference. Los Angeles, they need a win. I'm not saying they're going to blow them out by any means, but I do think the Chargers handled the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah. Chargers need a win. They're fighting for a playoff spot or trying to keep their playoff spot alive. Justin Herbert and company, I think they'll take care of business. I think the Colts at this point, after losing 33-0, after being up 33-0 and then getting come back on, it's hard to come out and motivate a team next week to come in, for whatever reason, give all their effort to win a game. So we're going to take the Chargers here, rolling with the LA. And, yeah, next game, the Denver Broncos, Los Angeles Rams. This is probably, if I had to put it into terms, this is probably the worst game in NFL history. And if you think about it like this, you got the 4-10 Denver Broncos. You got the 4-10 Los Angeles Rams. Possibly the 2 most disappointing teams in NFL history going against each other. And the reason why this makes it, what I'm saying is, this game's going to be exciting because it's like, who's the bigger disappointment? Who's going to out-disappoint who? I mean, both these teams find a way to lose, it seems like, every single week, especially the Denver Broncos. Now, I guess we don't really expect the Rams to win because they have so many injuries. They don't have like nearly the team that they had last year when they made their Super Bowl run. But the Denver Broncos, they actually have a decent team. That's why I'm going to roll with the Denver Broncos. I know that, they've struggled. I don't even know if Russell Wilson's starting this week. But even if he does, you got to think that it's still going to be a struggle bus for him, like it has been all year. So it's interesting because this is probably the shittiest game ever. And I'm going to have to, we'll roll with the Denver Broncos. Stronger defense. I guess you have to go with more playmakers, right? But, I mean, man, I don't know this might be the lowest viewed game ever in NFL history, at least for the season. Got to be at least for the season. This might not even be on. This game might not even be on if you lived in Denver or LA. solid chance this won't even make the cut. They'll probably have some, it's Christmas time, so what? They're going to have like one of those jeweler shows where they're just showcasing stuff and you call in and buy it and stuff like that. They'll probably have one of those segments on before they throw this game on. We're going to roll with Denver, though. Next game, Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets. This is going to be a fun one. Oh, wait, it already happened. Jacksonville rolled with this one. New York Jets would lose. Zach Wilson, what's going on? I think we know what's going on. I think Zach Wilson may fall in the lines of Sam Darnold, may fall in the lines of Geno Smith, may fall in the lines of, did they bring in another guy? They haven't brought in another guy, but you know what I mean. It looks like another failed first-round QB drafted by the Jets. That's what it seems like. I mean, there's nothing else you can say. They fell from grace last night, Thursday. They fell from grace, and it sucks because if you're a Jets fan, you finally thought, man, this is a year where we absolutely have a chance. And you guys should take that as a win because the fact that you had a chance and you guys weren't out of the playoffs by, say, week 9, that's a step forward. That's 100% a step forward for your team, for your franchise. You guys know you have the pieces around the QB position, but for some reason, you guys just got to find your QB. Got to find your QB. Robert Saleh, he's got his work cut out for him this week. He had his work cut out for him last night against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And yeah, I mean, I still believe in Robert Saleh. I still believe in, everything he stood for. I think they'll be fine going into next season. They just need to shore some stuff up. Jacksonville, though, they're looking pretty hot. Some dude just tweeted me, this is how hot they're looking. Someone just said, don't be surprised if the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Cowboys in the Super Bowl this year. I mentioned back to him, I would be absolutely beside myself if Jacksonville even made the playoffs this year. Because, no. They're not going to the Super Bowl, let alone beating the Cowboys. And the Cowboys ain't going to the Super Bowl either. You can mark that down. And maybe this won't age well. Maybe it will. I'm going to bet it's probably going to age well because there's no way both those teams are making the Super Bowl. There's no way one of those teams is making the Super Bowl. For however good they look, Trevor Lawrence, don't get me wrong, he's really stepping into his own, coming into his own, showing why he was that number 1 draft pick. But, man, the AFC is just too stacked, and the NFC, I believe, is too stacked. The NFC isn't super stacked. The NFC has 2 juggernauts on their conference. They got the Eagles and the Niners. I think it's going to come down to them. But, yeah, I mean, and then Jacksonville would have to beat KC. Then they'd probably have to play the Bills. Then they'd probably have to play, let's say they even play the Dolphins. Or, they might have to play the Steelers. You know what I mean? Like one of those. Like, they're not going to beat all 3 of those teams. No way. Just a funny thought. We're going to roll with, why do I keep acting like that game hasn't happened? Jaguars beat the Jets on Thursday Night Football. They're rolling. Jets are strolling. Buffalo Bills, Chicago Bears. Going to be an exciting one. Here's why. Justin Fields. Justin Fields makes any game exciting because of the dynamic ability he has to make any play turn into a goddamn touchdown. You've seen it so many times this year. Last week, I mean, the play that he made to escape the sack, run up the sideline, toe step it in for a TD, it didn't count for a TD because he stepped out, but the athletic ability, the playmaking ability alone makes him a threat to bring the Bears back into a game or extend a lead into a game. That's why this is going to be an exciting game. Not to mention, on the other side, you got probably the most dynamic QB in the league in Josh Allen. They want to keep that number 1 seed for the AFC. They want the AFC to run through Buffalo. Let's just put it that way, and for good reason. So they're going to be fighting hard. Chicago's going to be fighting hard. It's an 8.5-point spread. Yeah, it makes sense. We're going to roll with Buffalo. However, I think Chicago is going to make some noise. I think they might end up inside that spread. We'll have to see. But we're going to roll with Buffalo nonetheless. Next game. Atlanta Falcons versus the Baltimore Ravens. Here's an interesting stat. I don't have it written down, but from what I remember, the Baltimore Ravens are the second best rushing team in the league in terms of yards per game. Atlanta, I believe, is number 4. Both these teams can run the shit out of the ball. The only difference is Baltimore can stop the rush. I think they're the number 1 rushing defense in the league, so Atlanta's going to have a tough time making something happen, especially Because the fact that Atlanta is the fourth best rushing team in the league has to stem from the fact that Marcus Mariota's been their starting QB this whole time. Desmond Ridder stepped up. He's leading the helm this week. So that probably cuts into the amount of rushing yards they have. And it makes sense. Baltimore already doesn't give up a lot of rushing yards. So it's going to be a tough task for Atlanta to come into Baltimore, beat Baltimore as Baltimore's fighting for a playoff spot. Plus, if Lamar Jackson comes back, plus the fact that Baltimore just got beat by the Browns, so they need some kind of revenge, something to take their anger out on. I just don't see how the Atlanta Falcons escape this one with a W, even though they still have a playoff chance, a very slim one, but they still have a chance. We're going to roll with Baltimore here at home, and if there's any game to take the under, let's just put it this way. The under's 35.5, right? That's a really, really small scoring game, really low scoring game. I mean, you're thinking one team scores 20, the other team scores 16, and the over's already hit. But here's some stats. Atlanta is 6-8 overall on the over-under. That means they hit the over 6 times, hit the under 8 times. In their last 5, they're 1-4. When they're on the road, they're 3-4. Now, if you look at the Baltimore Ravens, they're 4-10 against the over-unders. That means the overs hit 4, the unders hit 10 different times. In their last 5, 1-4. And when they're at home, 1-5. So the over never hits for Baltimore, it seems like. The only thing that scares me away is how low this over-under score is. 35 points is not a lot of points in the NFL. I mean, that can be broken in a freaking half. Will it? I don't know. That's why I'm not super locked in on this over-under, but the trends are definitely there. So we'll see. That's just some food for thought for my T-Bloomers out there. If you want it, take it. The trends are there, but realize that's a really, really stanky number. 35.5 is a stank number. We're going to roll with Baltimore, though, at home against the Falcons. Next game, Detroit versus Carolina. The Lion versus the Panther. I mean, guys, this goes back to, ancient Egyptian times. Who would win, the Lion or the Panther? If one cat came across the other cat in the jungle, who would win? Lion, they say it's king of the jungle. What's weird about that? It doesn't even live in the fucking jungle. It lives in the Sahara. So I don't understand what that means, king of the jungle. Then you got the panther on the other side. It actually does live in the jungle. So the panther's probably thinking, damn, this guy's the king of a place he doesn't even live at. My hood? He's the king of my hood? He doesn't even live here? So there's got to be some beef. Got to be some historical beef between these two cats. Who's going to win? I'm going to go with the Detroit Lion, man. I think there's a reason why the lion doesn't live in the jungle anymore. He doesn't want to be surrounded by all this fugaziness. These snakes slithering around. These monkeys dangling. He doesn't want to be surrounded by that, so he moved out in the Sahara. He blends in a little better. He gets, a couple fifis to take care of him, bring him food and stuff, so he can just live a better life. The panther, however, he's still got to manage. More singular. Doesn't live with the pack. A lone wolf, so to speak. A lone panther. You can't beat a team with one person, is what I'm saying. A one single panther against one single lion, maybe the panther wins. A single panther versus a pack of lions, no way. So that's why we're going to roll with the Detroit Lions this week. And that just is what it is. If you want to look at the spread, there's some trends you may want to look at. The Detroit Lions are 10-4 overall against the spread, 5-0 in their last 5 against the spread, and 4-2 when they're on the road against the spread. If you look at the Carolina Panthers, 7-7 overall, 4-1 in their last 5, but 4-4 at home, so it can go either way. I'm going to stay away from it. I don't know. The Lions, there's just something about the Lions making their games close that you could argue that it would be tough. It'd be tough. But there's some positive trends if you want to look at those. We're going to go with Detroit, though. Coming down to our last but not least 4 final games, the Houston Texans versus the Tennessee Titans. Now, the Houston Texans had a genuine shot at beating the Chiefs last week. Was that because of the football gods saying, okay, you got the best team versus the worst team kind of thing? We got to make it a game, right? It seems like every time that happens, no one gets blown out. It's actually a decent football game for whatever reason. Tennessee, they're on like a 4-game losing streak, yet they're still number 1 in their division. So we're going to roll with the Tennessee Titans. You can't trust the Texans. you can't really trust the Titans, but you really can't trust the Texans either. And you can't trust the Texans more than you can't trust the Titans, if that makes sense. Let me know in the comments. We're going to roll with the Tennessee Titans at home. Next game, New Orleans Saints, Cleveland Browns. Stanky matchup. What's going to happen? I have no idea. The only thing I know is Deshaun Watson's coming off his best game as a Brown. Was it a good game overall in terms of Deshaun Watson standards? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But his best game overall as a Brown. Cheers. Best game overall as a Brown. Man, I got to say the Browns. The Browns, they're just more consistent. They have more consistability, if that's a word. Tell me if that's a word. Consistability all around the board for Cleveland. They have a run game established. They have a QB. They have a receiver, Amari Cooper. Donovan Peoples-Jones is coming to the mix. Their defense is they're not at, I don't know. Supposedly the Saints defense is really good. Still. Maybe not really good, but still good. I'm gonna roll with Cleveland. I'm not taking a lot of upsets this week because it's coming down to the wire where teams cannot afford to be upset. So they're gonna sure up some wins. We're gonna roll with Cleveland at home. Next game, Cincinnati Bengals versus the New England Patriots. Cincinnati at 10-4, New England at 7-7. On the outside, looking in to the AFC playoff picture. Man, you know what would be interesting? Let me look this up. TBloom Nation. I want to see the record between the Patriots and the Bengals overall. Their overall record throughout history. I feel like the Patriots have owned the Bengals. Oh, it's even. This is even Stevens. Breaking news, even Stevens between the New England Patriots. Let me redo that. Breaking news, New England Patriots for... Let me redo that. Come on. Breaking news, it is even... No, it's not. It's not even Stevens. It's not 7-7. What the fuck was I looking at? New England is dominating 17-19. New England hasn't lost to the Cincinnati Bengals since 2013. This in Cincy. They haven't won in New England since 2001. No, they haven't won in New England. That's Cincinnati. They haven't won in New England since 1986. Jesus Christ. The Bengals haven't beat New England in New England since 1986. They haven't even beat New England since 2013. What does that tell me, though? Do we go the route of thinking, hey, the Bengals are overdue for a win? Or do we go the route of thinking, hey, the Patriots dominate the Bengals for a reason? Is there some sort of dynamic there between the two? I mean... I don't know. I mean, this year it's looking tough to pick the Patriots. But historically speaking, the Patriots dominate the Bengals. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to roll with the Patriots. I haven't made an upset pick all the whole time. We're going to roll with the Patriots. Taking out the Bengals. I think the Bengals fall back down to earth. They're the hottest team in the AFC. I think they're on a 6-game win streak. We're going to roll with the Patriots, just to throw in some fun stuff. I like it. Mac Jones, I mean, you already know the Patriots are pissed. Bill Belichick's not having what just happened last week against the Raiders. So, yeah, we're going to roll with the Patriots here. Oh, and that's going to do it. We're going to bring in Charles VIII coming in with another appearance on the TBloom Talk Show. Sir Charles VIII, welcome to the podcast, my good sir. What's up, motherfucker?
What is up? I don't think my mic is working.
I can hear you.
There we go. All right, we're good.
Yeah.
Right on.
Okay. Got the
go.
fresh background right there. Got the Christmas tree.
We're in the Christmas spirit, bud.
I mean, I how could you not? The San Francisco 49ers just clinched.
We're happy. We're happy.
Yeah. I mean, good to have you back. Second
Absolutely.
time being
happy
on the
to
talk
be
show.
here.
Yeah. I think
Feeling
after the way things went the first time, there's no doubt in my mind that I was going to have you back. Who'd have thought it'd be so soon? I'm glad it happened.
Me too. Especially after, big game, Niners clinching.
Oh, for sure. Sure. All right. Charles VIII, back on. Hold on.
Sir.
Let me grab my list of games real quick.
Let me get mine as well while we're at it.
So we talked, you had 3 specific games, right? Or was it 4?
So I got 4 here with some things to talk about.
Four different games?
Let's see. Yep. Yeah, I got you want me to list them off right here? Make sure we're on the same page?
Let's just go through them one at a time.
All right, let's go.
Okay. We'll be starting off with.
We are starting off with the Giants and Vikings. I'm actually excited for this one. There's some playoff implications here. The Vikings are frauds. We're going to see if they get exposed.
Oh, dude, last week. Oh, my God.
I cannot believe that, man. Freaking Kirk Cousins.
Leave it to Matt Ryan to just fucking give up a lead that crucial.
He now owns the record, biggest Super Bowl lead lost and biggest NFL lead lost.
I mean,
it's a bad record.
So it's like records like, do you just like, as a player, are you happy about every record? I guess you can't be happy about every record, but it's like you still own the record. Like,
I mean, that's
no one else
is most fumbles. Are you happy about that? Like, dude, I have the most fumbles.
No one else can fuck up like I can. Like, no one else. You can try
and keep a contract. My agent's good. My agent's good.
Exactly. Keep a contract. That's for sure. So we got the New York Giants, Minnesota Vikings. What are you thinking here?
First of all, I'll just get right into it. I see the Vikings winning. They're 7-3 in the last 10 meetings. They've won 3 in a row. I think it's going to be a nail biter. I think the Giants will make it close, but they just don't have the firepower. Justin Jefferson he's a monster. I mean, dude, Barkley's good, but that line just does not do him any favors. Goofy Danny Jones. I'm hoping for a big game. Fantasy. Thanks a lot, Jalen Hurts. Shout out.
Perfect timing.
Lose me the playoffs. Yeah. Appreciate it. Anyways.
Oh, shit.
But Justin Jefferson, he's got some shots at some records here. I don't know if you've seen this, but he needs 116 yards a game to top off and beat Calvin Johnson's record of 1970 in a season.
How many does he need per game?
He needs 116 a game.
Ooh.
That's doable.
That's very
he's right there. He needs 126 yards a game to crack the 2,000-yard mark for the first time. And that would be an impressive feat right there.
That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Crack 2 Gs, man. That is who you got to start looking towards. I mean, his future. I mean, this is like the start, or probably is the start to one of the best receivers to ever play for now, right? I mean, he still has a ton of work.
You never know. OBJ's trajectory to start off was just astronomical, and look what happened. But I mean, Chris Carter did just rank him above Randy Moss and himself as the best Vikings receivers of all time. Already. Oh, Chris Carter himself.
Randy Moss.
No, doesn't he always?
Yeah.
Dude, doesn't he always?
Randy Moss. I'm not saying Justin Jefferson can't get there, obviously, because I mean, if he does what he's projected to do, then he'll get there. But Randy Moss, I mean, come on. Fucking Randy Moss.
I mean, prime time. He might be better than Chris Carter. I think you can say that. Yeah, I mean, Chris Carter was good, great hands, but the threat that Jefferson is dynamic, just game breaker. Mm-hmm. But I think he's going to get it personally. I think he's going to get the record. I think he's going to crack 2,000, and I think it's going to be exciting to see.
I think they're going to need to, because I mean, their defense does not do them any favors whatsoever.
Nothing. They're throwing all game. Mm-hmm. But that actually gets me to another, there's a fun over-under I found here. Okay. MGM guys, Dalvin Cook at 73.5 yards, over-under.
Yeah.
And Dalvin Cook's averaging 79.5 or 79.9 yards per game. I'm sorry. And the Giants defense is giving up 150 yards per game. So I'm going to take the over on that all day. I mean, I think that's an easy over.
Oh, Charles VIII with the fucking over-under take of a lifetime. I love that. So D Cook averaging over his over-under projection. Mm-hmm. And the fucking the Giants give up that many rushing yards to running backs, 150 you said, around there?
30th in the league. So, good team to run against. Yep, D Cook over. But, I think they'll keep it close, but second half, Vikings are going to pull ahead. There's nothing. That Giants defense is a joke. I still hope they make the playoffs. I think they will, but they're going to be an easy out.
Yeah. It's a tough race in the NFC, man. I don't want to. I know you're going to bring it up. Well, I'll talk about it when we get to that game, because you still want to talk about the Packers game, right? Packers Dolphins.
Oh yes, for sure.
Okay. When we talk about that,
last on my list, but we'll get to it.
Is there anything else you want to mention about this game? Any other interesting stats?
Man, I was just looking at some stuff, and I found it interesting that Daniel Jones and Barkley, they've played a lot of games together. But they, Daniel Jones, Russian quarterback, a lot of touchdowns. He's kind of that Josh Allen type in the red zone. They've never played a game and both gotten a rushing touchdown together. So I just thought that was interesting. I think to kind of limit each other with their play style. I just don't think it's a good combo long term. And there's going to have to be something happening there.
Do you think that Daniel Jones, if they finish out the season let's say they do make the playoffs. Let's say they make the wild card or whatever, and they bounce out first
They
round. Do
should.
you think Daniel Jones has done enough to secure his spot as next year's Giant quarterback?
I think they'll give it to him. Unfortunately, I think it's tough, and they've got some other pieces. I think they still want to build around him because you bring another quarterback in there. What are they going to do? Hand it to Barkley, and that's it. I mean, you can't bring another guy into that right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're just stuck rebuilding.
I think they need to shore up that line first of all, and then they need to bring talent in around him.
Yeah, just about everywhere.
Yeah, they need a receiver. They have no number one receiver.
Not at all.
I mean, what's
Galladay,
his name? Sterling Shepard. He did go out with an injury. Yeah, Kenny Galladay. He was good for like 1 year in fantasy.
A great contract. He is living it up, man.
Yeah. And then Sterling Shepard, he went out. But even with Sterling Shepard playing, I don't think he's a number one receiver at the least. I think he's a good number 2, but I don't think he should be that number 1 threat guy.
No, and then I'm going to blank on his name. The wide receiver they took in the second round this year. Wandell Robinson. He had some flash games this year, but couldn't stay healthy. And,
I don't even know who the fuck that guy is.
He's a Tyreek, kind of a gadget player. Short, he's like 5'9", just fast as can be. But he never really was healthy this year. I think they wanted him when he was healthy. They fed him the ball, but he just wasn't there. So
right.
Maybe in the future, but not a good start.
Okay, so we got the Vikings taking it over the Giants. That's the Charles VIII pick. This is actually your first time picking games, so this is going to be interesting.
This is exciting. I wonder how I'll do.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
A little pressure.
It actually makes some of the games that you don't really give a fuck about regardless. You kind of like look into them more like, shit, am my prediction right? You kind of have a side to cheer for, so it's fun. So Minnesota Vikings over the Giants. What's the next one?
All right, we got Niners and Commanders. This one should be good. We're at San Francisco. San Francisco 6-1 at home to start out, so they're hard to beat anytime, but especially in that field at home. I mean, they're loud, they're proud, they get it rocking. We got Washington at 4-2-1 away this year, though, so kind of sneaky good team on the road, especially with that one tie. And I heard this news today, and it made me worry a little. Chase Young is making his first start of the year, so that makes me sweat because he's a damn
Young's
good player.
Coming back.
He's back, baby. He's back. So bad game to come back. I wish he'd sit on the sideline one more week.
So he hasn't played all year.
He hasn't played all year, man. I think he tore his ACL. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's what happened last year.
Okay, yeah.
And he's had some setbacks throughout the season. They were kept saying he's going to be back. He's going to be back, and but they got him for the playoff push, so that should be exciting.
Yeah.
But it makes me worry about Brock Purdy a little bit because that's a lot of pressure in your face, and I don't think he's seen that yet.
Washington's defense, man, even without Chase Young, they're still pretty nasty. So adding this to that is gonna.
I didn't realize how good their defense had been. I was looking at some numbers, and man, they're top 10 in a lot of the categories there.
Right.
I mean, overall, they're a top 10 defense this year, and that's you wouldn't think that because they just lost to the Giants. But
AFC East, man, they got a lot of good all 4 of their teams have good defenses.
Yeah, they really do. I liked Peyton Manning's joke that the NFC South is just no one's going to go to the playoffs, and they're just going to send the entire NFC East. He just thought that'd be better.
Say fuck it.
It's a Peyton Manning take right there.
Below 500 Tampa, and
no,
I guess you got Brady. You got Brady, so
I guess, but
you got to give him a shot. But I wish they do away with that whole thing. There's got to be like a certain standard of you can't be, like I said, you can't be 3 games behind 500 to make the playoffs.
No, you shouldn't be. That's ridiculous. I mean,
especially when you got a team who's sitting here like won any other division, they'd be either 2 or at least fighting for number 1.
Oh yeah,
Commanders,
for sure.
So,
it's funny because they always bounce around. They're always one of the best or one of the worst divisions in football. I feel like there's never any I don't know. They're all good or they're all bad. It's kind of a weird division.
It is.
But I do think it's going to be a defensive battle. Niners are going to win, of course, 17-14. I do have them winning out the rest of the season.
Okay.
You got to score 17-14. Mark it. But, Shanahan is returning to D.C. where he absolutely ruined RG3 and their hopes of being good 10 years ago. So I wonder what kind of reaction he's going to get there. Are they going to be happy to see him? Are they going to boo him because he ruined their future? You just don't know. It's hard to say.
Wait, so Shanahan used to coach for Washington, you mean, right?
He was their offensive coordinator when RG3 got hurt.
in San Francisco, so...
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, I'm sorry. Cut that part out. My bad.
For sure. Hey, don't worry. That's what editing's for, man. We can just slice that right
Is
out.
it at? Why do I have? Ooh, I don't know which one's right now because I have them both written down. That's not good. Anyways,
What I'm seeing is it's at San Francisco.
okay, yep. So cut that out.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, but it's going to be interesting playing his old team. It's always interesting when you play against your old team, coach against your old team. I'm curious how they're going to use McCaffrey. They locked up the playoff spot. They've been feeding him a lot of touches, and we know he's fragile. He just is. Let's be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Are they going to keep it up? Because I think now you kind of got to preserve him, right? So
I think you go in some sort of preserve mode. I mean, depending how this game goes, let's say they go up 14-0, you got to definitely, take
yeah.
Who's your guys' backup? I mean, who's behind him right now?
We got Jordan Mason, I want to say. Kind of a
You
nobody.
guys are just
He's got some touches, but
you guys are notorious for just having stupid backs like out of nowhere. Jeff
we
Wilson,
do. That's what we do.
Mostert,
yeah.
Breida.
Super glad we traded him now, right?
Yeah, you did. All those guys for some reason just left, but you got the best running back in the league, arguably now.
We do. So I hope to start to limit him because I want to see him win out. Obviously, push for that best spot, but you got to kind of play protective. I mean, what happens if we lose Brock Purdy? God forbid. I mean, whoa.
Kaepernick, we need you, buddy. Get your ass over here. It's time.
I'm all for it, but we'll see if that happens.
Hopefully, that doesn't happen. That would suck. That would suck so bad to go through 3 quarterbacks, especially how good your guys' team is right now.
If any team is going to do it, it's the Niners, though. Let's be honest. Sure. They just have an absolute terrible history of it.
All right, so we got the Niners 17-14. Anything else you wanted to discuss on this one?
I'm just, I'm worried Brock Purdy. I think he's going to slow down a little bit, hit a wall. I don't see him even hitting 200 yards. Hopefully, I think he gets a touchdown, but, I think it's going to be tough going up against the top defense. But hopefully he plays well, but I'm skeptical to say the least.
So it's looking like do you think it's going to be a tough battle, though? Obviously, it's going to be a 3-point game.
Oh, yeah.
So, okay.
Defensive game, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So next one, what do you got?
We have the Cowboys and the Eagles. I was really excited about this, and then they declared Hurts out.
Oh,
so kind of a bummer.
Minshew, baby.
I am excited about that. Former Coug, played under Mike Leach. Rest in peace. I was sad to hear.
Yeah.
But I always rooted for him. Love to see him play. He's been pretty good. When he played 2 games last year. He had a 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. So, I mean, not bad. He's one of the better backups, in my opinion, in the league. But going up against a tough defense here. Trayvon Diggs, that's tricky, especially for someone you're not getting a lot of playing time. You're not getting the reps, to be honest. You're not looking at the live team, and then the Cowboys defense has really put it together the last few weeks.
Yeah,
I think Dallas is going to win it, which Philly just needs one more win to lock up that top spot and be done.
So they do need one more win.
They need one more win.
Okay.
So I mean, they have time to get it. 3 games left, obviously.
They clinched the playoffs, though, right? They make the playoffs, but
sure.
That's just for the division.
Okay. They'll get that. I think they get the top seed if they win. But I could be wrong. But
because it'd be Minnesota, and they beat Minnesota. So this is for number 1 seed. Holy shit!
Yeah. So that's important. I mean, but with Hurts not playing this week, I could see him locking up next week for sure. There's no way they're going to lose 3 games in a row. Hurts wanted to play this week. Coach told him no. So thanks for ruining my fantasy season.
Yeah.
But,
not yet, though. You never know. You never know. I mean, who you starting?
Did you see the Jets running back? He started for me tonight. I forget his name. 2 points. Appreciate
Donovan?
it. Yeah. It's Donovan. 2.3 points, and Evan Ingram going against him, 18.3. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good.
Man.
Well, man, Jonathan Taylor and Hurts lost them both on my bye week. It's falling apart at the end, but I think it'll be a fun game.
Hold strong.
You're in the. We got to pause here. Yeah. You're in the sex doll bowl here. Our league punishment is you have to take a sex doll on a date, and he's at a 45% projection right now. So,
you know what happens if I do that? I will definitely. I'm gonna have to record it somehow.
Oh, for sure.
That'd be such a funny video. I'm just talking.
So we're gonna send it to El Gingero. He's gonna break it in for you, and then he's gonna deliver it to you.
Let's cut that out. Let's cut. Don't send it to him. Just send it directly to my house. I don't want him touching my woman.
All right, let's understand. Fair enough.
That's my woman. I'm taking her on a date. I mean,
oh yeah,
but not even that yet, because I might win this week.
You might win, but you're on a skid. A skid.
I am on a skid, dude. I'm not even lying. I haven't looked at my fucking lineup since I realized I didn't make the playoffs. So, but
a lot of stake. A lot of stake.
Okay. But okay, Philly and Dallas. You think it's?
Yeah.
Do you have a score prediction for this one, or
I do. I'm thinking 31-21. Philly's still going to pull out the division, like I said, but Dallas is going to get a win here, and they're going to get a confidence boost, and they could really use it after that pick six walk off last week. Good job. So it'll be interesting, but Dallas's defense, Gardner Minshew, I don't like it.
you don't like it?
I don't. I think they're going to key in on the run a little bit. I don't think Miles Sanders is going to get going like he has been because with that, that hurts quarterback run option. I mean, it's real easy for him to get some holes.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen this week because Minshew he's got a little quickness to him, but he's no hurts.
Yeah,
so,
no, not at all. Not at all.
I think they're going to get him.
There's no threat or there might be a little threat, maybe once or twice in a game, but he's not at the biggest. Yeah, as a DN, you don't really have to sit there and expect him to pull that ball out of Miles Sanders' stomach and take off. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, he's a good quarterback, game manager. He doesn't have the best arm. AJ Brown's a deep threat. I don't know if he's going to have a good game if they're not going to get him the ball deep. That's where a lot of his touches have came this year. Same with, Devontae Smith's kind of the same thing. So we'll see how their passing game goes. I think they key in on the run, the passing game goes slow, and Dallas just pulls it out.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of what is good, like the outcome of this game, will be determined by how Gardner Minshew handles
definitely
the offense. If he comes out and I don't even think he has to put up 30 points. I mean, if he puts up like 25 or even 21, I can see Philly maybe keeping it a close game. Or like maybe Philly's defense doesn't let the Dallas score 31 or something. But yeah, I think a lot of this game depends on which way Gardner Minshew plays and how he does. And it's interesting because one, he hasn't played in a while, so we don't really know. Respect. Come fucking Ninered out to the TBloom talk show. I only got my fucking beanie on. Respect. I gotta let it fly. Sir CharlesTheEighth. He's doing it right. Oh,
fuck you.
Shit. Okay. Nice.
Change up the hat,
What's up, pal? We got a special guest. Come in here.
Who do we got?
Come in.
Special guest.
I'll come in.
Oh my God, Siege! What's going on?
Give us your
bud?
prediction. JC's official prediction: Philly versus Dallas. Jalen Hurts is out. What are you going with?
I'm gonna ride the Minshew mania.
Okay,
Philly.
Okay, going Philly. JC's going Philly. I love it.
I respect it.
Okay, we were just talking
Niners, everything back there, Chase. I'm digging it.
Niners out, man.
Yeah, he's got the fucking Christmas tree and everything.
Nice, bud.
Yeah.
Nice. Too bad I had to take you down last week in the fantasy football playoffs.
You're playing me this week, bud. What are you talking about? We're playing this week.
You guys
oh my gosh, you're not Jax. I thought I was classic son of a God.
Joe, buck yourself, bro. But you're beating me. We were just talking about it.
Hey, you're going down.
Just I don't know, man. I'm a little worried. Can't lie.
All right.
I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Have a good time.
Okay.
It's good talking to you, Chase.
Good to see you, bud.
JC Edwards, everybody. You guys are gonna hear him a lot more once this football season ends. We're gonna go MMA full. You watch MMA, right?
Oh my God, dude! I still am in shock that Olive lost. Charles Olive,
You're shocked that Charles Oliveira lost?
I am, my baby. Dude, I loved watching him fight. I really didn't think Islam was all
are
that.
you?
There's a lot. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's save that for another time.
Yeah, for sure. We can talk about that at some
Let's
point.
stay on track. Okay, Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys. You've gotten them winning 31-21 Dallas, and the JC's going to go with the Eagles.
Jumania, man. I respect it,
Yeah.
Cougars.
That's funny that he just bring up Minshew as we were talking about. That's pretty much what this game's going to be decided.
Good timing.
Next game, what are we doing?
We got Packers-Dolphins. This one's in Miami. I'm sure they're happy to get back to even though it's awfully cold this week across the country, man. I'm in Corpus Christi, Texas, and we're at about
68 over there. I was seeing.
It's actually about 28 degrees right now.
Whoa, so that was way off.
Frozen in Texas, bud. Frozen in Texas. That's interesting.
That's not normal.
No,
that's
cold
not
everywhere.
Normal, man.
No.
Global warming. I mean, I don't know, man. It's even kind of cold. No, I'm just kidding. Calm down, viewers. Relax. It's just jokes. It's just jokes. Miami's sitting at 75 degrees right now, so doesn't seem like it's affecting too much.
Oh wow, really? I thought
Saturday.
We'll see.
Saturday, it's supposed to be 62 because that's when they're playing, right?
Okay, not too bad. I mean, that's above 50. They should be happy about that.
Yeah, nothing crazy. And especially Green Bay Packers. I mean, that's warm to them coming from Green Bay.
That's for sure. But I mean, I'm curious to see if Tua pulls it together. He's had 4 straight games. I think it's 5 straight games actually under 300 yards, 4 straight with 2 touchdowns or less. He started off just so hot, just throwing the ball around the field, just really swinging it. So I'd like to see him pull it back together, especially going into the playoffs, because they're not playing great right now. They slowed down at the wrong time. That running game's been doing okay, but I think they need to get Jeff Wilson mixed back in. They need to do something.
Mostert actually had a really good game.
He had a great game.
Yeah, and I was not expecting that at all because they're not a running team.
No.
They sure looked like it last week, or maybe that was part of Buffalo's game plan to make them run the ball.
It was so cold there too, man. That was part of it, I think.
And they almost won. They had the lead in the 4th.
They surprised me.
I mean, shit, Mike McDaniels, man, he's really fucking. He's adding to that that tree branch of fucking, what is it, Kyle Shanahan or Sean McVay? Is it Shanahan?
Shanahan, yeah.
Shanahan, yeah. Well, I'm saying because I know Shanahan, Sean McVay, and the success Sean McVay has had and stuff like that. But he's adding to that branch, another fucking branch of Mike McDaniel.
They've been good. His coaches have been
guy.
good. Yeah, I think D'Amico Ryans, sadly, it looks like he's going to leave this year, get a head coaching spot. So that'll be another one. We'll see. But he needs to pull it together though. Going into the playoffs, he's had a great start for his first head coaching gig. He's obviously young. Look at him. He looks 13, 14 years old at best.
He doesn't act like any other coach in the league.
He's so small on the sideline.
Nonchalant.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just weird to see. But anyways, Tyreek, I'm curious to see what he's going to do. He apologized after his 9-catch, 61-yard touchdown game and said he will never play that bad again, and he's going to do better this week. So, I'm curious to see what that looks like. He's had some monster games this week, so maybe he's got something in the hat he's pulling out.
Apologize, dude? That's some people's career games right there.
I know, but I'm expecting a big game, man. 150 yards, touchdown. He's been dynamic this year.
Is what's his name for the is Jair Alexander or Ja Alexander? What's his name?
Jair Alexander. I think he's playing, but he's playing, but I don't. Tyreek, who hasn't?
It is Tyreek. It is Tyreek.
He's right there with the top 3 receiver in the league this year, especially. He's been so good. I didn't think this was coming, leaving the Chiefs. I thought that was a mistake, but he proved me wrong.
I agree with that 100%. I thought Tyreek going to Miami, even with Tua and
that's a big downgrade. He's been good this year, but
you're going from Patty Mahomes and a fucking Andy Reid to first year head coach Mike Daniel and Tua Tagovailoa, who had so many questions coming into this year. He was really on a fucking prove it year, because if Tua were to fucking shit the bed, he's out.
That's what all before the season started. They were talking about Tua's not the guy. Tua's not the guy. Tua's not the guy. Tyreek Hill was saying he's fine. He's fine, and he's been right. So I'm personally. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, what do you think about the Green Bay side? Do you think Aaron Rodgers comes out and fucking makes a push? Because this is what I wanted to talk about. I was looking at the route Green Bay had to take, or, the standings and stuff to make the playoffs. Because I think if the Green Bay Packers get into the playoffs, that's the last fucking team you want to face. That's if you're a 2nd seed trying to play the 7th seed Green Bay Packers, who have Aaron Rodgers, who has nothing to lose. That defense, it's not the best. It's not what it was last year per se. But it still has flashes of greatness. Green Bay can be. I just think of it in this term. Aaron Rodgers can beat any fucking team any fucking day. And I think if they get on a run and they start winning these games and they get some momentum heading into the postseason, I think they can make some noise. Maybe not all the way to the Super Bowl, but at least knock off a 2nd seed or whoever.
Rodgers, absolutely. And personally, I was hoping they'd be eliminated right now because I really wanted to see some Jordan Love. That's one thing, I'm kind of disappointed about. I want to see. He said he's requesting a trade if he doesn't get to start next year. So,
I would too. Why did you? Why'd they draft him?
First round, 3 years on the bench. Yeah, but
what did they think that was going to do?
Yeah, look what they did with Rodgers. How many years did he sit? 3 or 4?
2, 3.
Yeah. Well, was it? I thought he started playing in 08. I could be. Oh no. Yeah.
I think it's 3. Regardless, but yeah. Fucking. Yeah, I guess it's the same scenario, but it's getting out of hand now because Jordan Love hasn't started in.
A lot of capital. You're paying him a lot to not play. You can get something for him too. It's not like he's a scrub. Who knows? He hasn't had a chance. But I don't know. I want to see what he's made of, and I wish they'd give him a shot. Maybe they will. I think they will after this week. So I got Miami winning 35-21. Yep, I think that's what I got down here.
35-21.
Green Bay is 2-5 on the road this year. So they haven't been that good in the first place, obviously, but they really haven't been good on the road. So I think their only chance really is what's Christian Watson made of? He's had some big games this year. Last week was kind of a dud. Rodgers called him out for running the wrong route in the end zone, or he would have gotten a touchdown. So that's kind of interesting. Would have been 5 touchdowns in a row.
Speaking of Christian Watson, dude, I made this bet with my friend Drew, who's a Packer fan. Okay, did I mention this to you, or did?
I think you mentioned it to me, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna mention it again because it's just. I think I did mention this to you, but fuck it. Christian Watson, dude, wasn't doing shit all year until like week 8 or 9 or whatever, and then he goes off and gets 3 TDs in one game, and then just gets a TD like 4 games after that every game. And I made a bet with my friend that it'd either be Kenny Pickett or George or any Steeler rookie would be ahead of Christian Watson in the Rookie of the Year rankings. And that's all. And as long as it's one Steeler, George Pickens, Kenny Pickett, doesn't matter. Fucking anybody. And then I thought I had it in the bag, and then week 8 came around, and boom, he just fucking takes off.
I don't know who's going to win it this year, honestly. A lot of receivers have been good, but then slowed down. There's been a lot of booms. Garrett Wilson had his good weeks. Olave had his good weeks. Pickens had Dobbs, Watson. I mean, there's been a lot of receivers that had good weeks.
There's a lot of defense. Aiden Hutchinson. He's fucking
Tariq
nasty.
Woolen on the Seahawks. Oh my goodness. I think that's his name, Tariq Woolen. I mean, absolutely dynamic. Looks like Richard Sherman, which is funny. They have a habit of drafting those guys.
I wish the Steelers could draft as corners as well as those fucking.
You guys could use.
Yeah. We can draft receivers. Like receivers, no problem. But
you guys sign corners. You guys sign a lot of corners in free agency. Usually past their prime, but
fucking Joe Hayden after an ACL tear. But
he wasn't terrible. But I'm curious to see. I think with going up against Hill and Waddle, you're going to have to run up the score. It's going to be a high scoring game. They're going to have to bomb it to Watson. He's going to get his chances to go out and get those touchdowns. And is he going to pull him down? I mean, this is what Rodgers was worried about, I think, having the rookie receiver to rely on late in the season. There's no real, I mean, he's showing signs, but is he? I don't know if he's a number 1 yet. He shows the potential to be for sure.
He's not number 1 yet, but.
I mean, we'll see, because right now you got to win. So
it's win time in Green Bay because they lose one more,
and they're going to lose. I think so. It'll be a shame. We'll see what happens with Rodgers. He was jokingly said he'd love to play for the Raiders in an interview, so I thought that was funny.
You never know with Rodgers, man. He's so abstract. That guy's just. I feel like he's just on shrooms
sipping his ayahuasca tea, talking about what team he wants to play for.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting offseason for that. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
So we got the Miami Dolphins. Anything else you want to talk about in that game?
Let's see. Not really. Just I think this is going to be the game where the Dolphins either show they're going to be a threat in the playoffs, or they're going to show that this just isn't their year, because they have the offense, and Bradley Chubb has been it's been amazing for them since they traded for him. That was a great pickup. Yeah. I mean, their defense has got the firepower now too. So we'll see. Well,
all right. We're in at 10 minutes. Anything else you want to discuss, Sir Charles VIII?
Oh, let's see.
By the way, that's how I'm going to be introducing you. It's going to be Sir Charles VIII with the accent and everything.
All right. I like it. I can get behind
that. It's a good name. Charles VIII, man. I mean, it's a good name because it's honestly, let's talk about how you have the same name as 8 of your other, what is it, like your dad's and your dad's dad? And
that's exactly. I mean, unfortunately, my grandpa passed away. Never got to meet him. So I only met my dad. He's the 7th. But I got the 8 tattooed on my arm, obviously. I just kind of always, since I was young, just been always 8s incorporated and everything. I used to tell my mom I was going to get an 8-ball tattooed on my neck just to fuck with her. But...
hey, Mom, I'm going to do this. Represent.
8-ball. Come on. What's wrong with that? What do you mean?
Weird. I need a job. What are you talking about? No.
Yeah. One thing. What about that Keelan Cole call? That touchdown that.
Oh,
I don't think it's a touchdown
that
let the Raiders
versus the Raiders game. Oh my shit.
That was something.
Dude, I'm going to say right now that was not a touchdown.
No, I don't think so either. I think that was not a touchdown.
And then, if there's any game that you could point out to be rigged, like that in recent memories. I mean, this is one that I sat there and watched and could obviously say, I can see how you can make a case, because not only did that was not a touchdown. Okay, cool. They called a touchdown. But for the fact that Jacoby Myers threw that ball back to Mac Jones, like, it's not like he was throwing to another receiver who had someone behind him. Mm-hmm. It was like, no, he was looked back. He saw McCorkle Jones behind him and thought, you know what? He could probably make a play. Throws it. And like, it almost seemed like Chandler Jones was right there the whole time. Like,
yeah.
I would love to be
just kind of walked and just whoop. Yeah, it was bad.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in that locker room with Bill Belichick and what exactly he said to that team. If he said anything, I can feel him.
I think he probably
silent,
just cut his sleeves off a little more, so they kind of went in. He cut some big swooshes and just fucking went home. fuck you guys.
Man. Yeah, took a private jet. Said, I'm not fucking. Jacoby,
I heard.
Walk home.
I read, I don't remember what it was. I think it was Bleacher Report that there's a rumor that Bill Belichick wants out and the Patriots will not fire him or release him, so that there's a real possibility he gets traded. Coach trades happen every 5-10 years in the NFL.
Never.
John Gruden. No, there was Gruden, and there was one more since then. I forget what it was.
Fuck, what? 1, 2, maybe?
Yeah, but once every 10 years or so. So I thought that was interesting. They were saying the Panthers are a potential spot, and I don't know. I thought that was funny.
As a head coach? Or
as the head coach? Yeah, trade for him as the head coach. So I don't know. I mean, weird, but I mean, there seems to be some traction behind it from some sources.
Okay.
From what I read. So
that would be something. Yeah, that's I haven't heard shit about that, but that is wild, because Bill Belichick is he's like the Godfather, dude. Like, what do you mean he wants to go somewhere else? Like, I thought he was about to retire in a couple of years or something.
You would hope. Oh, my God. I think McDaniel thought so too, but here he is coaching for the Raiders. So
yeah, I think McDaniel's. It's so poetic that Chandler Jones, the former fucking Patriot who made his name on the Patriots, catches that ball, stiffies Mac Jones, and then just runs it in like that.
You love to see it.
Oh, my
You love to see it. Mac Jones, that poor God, just his pride's got to be just beat up at this point. Like, you're an NFL quarterback, but for how long? I mean, Bailey Zappi took your spot for a few games this year. That's not good.
It's like, I mean,
sounds like a cartoon character.
Bailey Zappi. I mean, he looked like he was the fucking future.
Yeah, he looked good there. He's kind of Mike White, like, Yeah, he did that Mike White couple games.
Yeah.
And shit.
Was Mike White fucking injured? Is that why Zach Wilson is playing?
Yeah, but he's been healthy, but they benched. I saw they benched. I didn't get to watch the game, unfortunately. I only caught pieces of it. I saw they benched Wilson during the game, so I don't know who came in for him. But man, Zach Wilson, that's rough. But rough draft for quarterbacks, man. Zach Wilson, Trey Lance. I mean, Trevor Lawrence has been good, but Mac Jones.
Fields. I think Justin Fields.
Oh, he might be good.
He's got the stats. I think he could be good.
I don't know if he. Yeah.
What would you say? Like, I mean, obviously he could he's a dynamic quarterback.
He runs a lot. I mean, I know Hurts ran a lot, but he's over 1,000 yards. That's a lot for a quarterback.
He's leading the fucking league in rushing.
No,
I'm almost positive, dude.
No,
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Do it. Okay, I was gonna, but if you're doing it, go for it. Oh man, that'd be crazy.
I think someone told me that.
I mean, I know he's over 1,000 yards, but I think, oh God, I don't know who'd have more than him. There's not been a great rushing leader this year.
Right. Okay. Never mind. He's not leading the league in rushing. Sorry, folks.
It's top 10, right? He's got to be top 10.
Oh, he's top 10. So it's Josh Jacobs. Oh, Josh Jacobs. What? I fucking love how everyone in the
hated him this year.
Hated him. They're like,
dude, they didn't pick up the 5th-year contract option, and now look at him. I mean, you love to see it, dude. Grew up high school, living in his car. I mean, humble guy, real hard worker.
Yeah, Justin
makes
Fields,
you happy to see.
He's 7th.
Damn, that's impressive.
But still, that isn't.
Where's your longevity? Who was the last guy to rush? I mean, RG3. I mean, I know Hurts does, but he doesn't run there's a difference between the way they run. Fields, options. I mean, Hurts does them too, but there's a lot of purposeful runs or, scripted runs for Justin Fields.
For sure. And I think, I see a lot of just runs that come natural to him being
there's just
passing,
a lot of both of it. Yeah.
He holds the ball way too fucking long. That's for damn sure. The guy,
he's not reading the field quick. Yeah. He does not. He doesn't have a feel.
No, he doesn't have a field.
That's good. Look at that.
All right. Well, Charles, fucking money time having you on the podcast. We appreciate all your fucking,
Absolutely.
your predictions. Interesting stuff. You told me a lot of shit I didn't know. I know TBloom Nation's fucking.
Got to do my research, man.
Yeah.
I know they're gonna call me out if I got my facts wrong. So we'll see. I know they will. They're ruthless.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Anything else you wanted to say before you leave, or?
Not really. I'm excited to see what the playoff picture is after the end of the week. I think we're going to see some stuff really decided, and we'll see, man. I'm excited for playoffs. I'm ready for playoffs. The last few weeks are always kind of,
Yeah.
There's a lot to clinch, but who's mainly going to be there. Let's get to it.
Yeah, but
we're at a week.
these 7-6 seeds, it's going to be interesting for these AFC
who they're gonna lose. Yeah, who are the top seeds going to beat in the first round? We'll see.
Yeah. We'll fucking see about that.
We'll find
Pittsburgh
out.
Steelers get in. I'll tell you right now, we're going to the fucking Super Bowl, baby.
Oh man,
Kenny Pickett all
Niners,
the way.
Super Bowl. Niners aren't losing another game all the way.
You
Call
that?
it. I'm saying it. I believe.
Win out.
I believe. So. I don't remember their schedule, but it's not. They already had their hardest game. I mean, there's no one tough left. I definitely think they're winning out. They got some momentum, man. That defense. As long as we stay healthy, get Debo back in time for playoffs. Supposed to happen. I think we have as good a chance as anyone.
Well, shit, you guys heard it here first. Sir Charles VIII, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Fucking 49ers. You heard it there. He thinks the 49ers are going to win out. Thanks for coming on, Sir Charles. Appreciate everything you've done. And
absolutely.
We'll see you next week, pal.
Awesome. Goodbye, TBloomaholics.
All right. See you later, bud. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that from Sir Charles VIII. Another blessing to have him on the show. Go give him a shout out on Twitter. You can find him at Charles VIII on Twitter. With that being said, you guys have a Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, doesn't matter. We appreciate any TBloomanite out there, a Team Bloomski, a T-Bloomer, a T-Bloomaholic, whatever you guys are calling yourselves nowadays. Appreciate you guys. Happy holidays, and I will see you next Tuesday. Until then, T-Bloom out.